Sonny Bono, get off my lana.
Hit me!
Get off my lana. Sonny Bono, get off my lana. Get off my lana. Sonny Bono, get off my lana.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a very special podcast. This is the podcast in which we talk about all of your favorite TV shows from yesteryear and then discuss them over a glass of wine. I'm Patrick M. Dunn, and I'm joined here, as always, by Kat Halstead.
You said it correctly.
I've been rehearsing all day because I got called the fuck out on the last episode.
Yes, you did.
But I'm saying it right in my mind. I think it's just my accent. You're not used to these northern boys living in a southern world.
Yeah, sure. We'll blame your accent.
But we are here in a new month. We got new mics and new episodes of the podcast.
We are totes professional and have identical microphones.
Yes, we broke the bank and we spent like $30 on Amazon Prime. We only waited like 60 episodes deep to do this though. And speaking of 60 deep, tonight we are going to be doing America's favorite show, The Golden Girls.
Woohoo! I cannot believe we haven't done The Golden Girls already.
All right, so shall we get into tonight's episode?
Yes, what episode are we doing this evening, Patrick?
All right, so as I previously teed, we are doing The Golden Girls, the classic NBC sitcom, which was a Saturday night staple for 7 seasons?
I believe so, yes.
1985 to 1992. It was a series created by the wonderful Susan Harris, who also created Soap.
Yes, which is one of my all-time favorite shows.
And Benson. Oh, fun fact. This is the year anniversary of the death of Drunk Cat.
Oh.
Because I was listening to the Day by Day episode, which is our fresh out of Halloween episode, and that was the last time Drunk Cat made an appearance on the podcast.
It was Day by Day?
Yes, it was.
Talking about the freaking Brady Bunch and some Courtney Thorne-Smith and Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
That was Kat Halstead's alcoholic swan song in the podcast. She is now on the straight and narrow. She drinks like cherry Coke.
It's not even cherry, it's just regular
While
Coke.
I crush beers. Alright, so the episode that we chose tonight was a season 6 episode.
Yeah.
Season 6, episode 9. It's another dream sequence episode. So, we like to come out of Halloween with a dream sequence.
Yes.
The first year we did the podcast, we came out with Elf, the dream sequence with Gilligan's Island, as a aforementioned Day by Day, which involved a dream with the Brady Bunch show. And this week, we are doing The Golden Girls, which the whole episode is a dream.
Yes, it is. This is one of my absolute favorite episodes of The Golden Girls.
And not only is it a dream, but it involves people from other TV shows.
Well, that's the fun about a dream, is they don't make sense and random people pop up in them.
We have a special guest by Sonny Bono of the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour.
Yes.
And the Carol Burnett show's Lyle Waggoner.
Yes.
And they play themselves in this episode, and they are potential suitors for Dorothy.
Because, sure, it's a dream. It's not going to make sense.
Well, I guess Dorothy sees them at a performance of... Is it Equus? Is that the play that she's going to see?
Let me check my notes. You know, I just wrote down that it was a dinner theater.
One, this is already hilarious because at this time, I believe Sonny Bono was the mayor of Palm Springs.
Yes, he was the mayor of Palm Springs.
And Lyle Waggoner was a viable television star at this point in time? In 1990, maybe?
You know what? I'm going to be completely honest. Lyle Waggoner is not somebody who I know a lot about. He's not, like, the most I know about him is from this episode.
Like, if you heard his name, you go, oh, Lyle Waggoner from that Golden Girls episode.
Yeah, he was that guy chasing Dorothy in that Golden Girls dream sequence.
You mean you never watched the Carol Burnett show, which I think he name-dropped, like, 4 times in this episode?
You know, I would, like, watch the reruns on, like, Family Channel or whatever it was back in the day. You know what Freeform is now, but Not, like, enough that I knew who he was. Like, I could make that connection.
Yes, and it's really hard to watch sketch comedy shows of yesteryear because a lot of the jokes are going to be topical humor.
They just don't work.
Yeah, unless you've lived through that time, you don't understand what they're talking about.
Like, I mean, when I was a kid, I would watch old Saturday Night Lives on TV Land, but I did not understand those jokes at all. Like, at all.
It would be like if a millennial today watched the SNL that had, like, Nancy Kerrigan hosting.
Oh my god, exactly. They'd be like, I don't understand.
They would be like, who is this broad? Why is Tanya Harding in the audience? Why is Galooly there? Like, what the fuck is Galooly?
Like, what is this mess? Like, this makes no sense. Why is she being this bitter girl during a parade?
Yeah. And I can't believe I just brought up Nancy Kerrigan on the podcast.
Oh my god. We are so like Joel McHale in that new TV show.
What is it called? It's on CBS, right? Is it Last Man Standing? No, that's Tim Allen.
Okay, but it's basically like Last Man Standing, except set in an office with millennials.
That is my life now. So, have you been watching Big Brother Over the Top on CBS All Access?
I have. I don't watch it like obsessively. I only watch it like once a week. Like, I go in on Wednesday and I watch that weekly recap show they do, and I watch The Eviction. I keep up with what's going on via Twitter, but I just haven't allowed myself to be sucked into the live feed.
Alright, so there's one girl on the show, she's like our age, Chrissy, the den mother of this whole crew of millennials. They're all like 24, 23, 22, and they know nothing. They don't know who Aaliyah is. They've never seen Free Willy.
Fuck Free Willy! I knew you were gonna fucking do it! I fucking hate you right now. Fuck you, Patrick. Fuck you.
So I just found out the other day that Kat hates Free Willy, and she hoped the wheel would have killed the boy. Is that what you said?
Yes! Okay. When I was in the 6th grade, we had this, like, I don't even know what it was called. It was this stupid, like, monthly class we had to take, and we'd get separated into groups, and you'd go into, like, for some reason in 6th grade, you were all, like, mixed up. I guess it's, like, the whole trying to, like, make you friends with other people than the ones you went to grade school with. And so you get, like, put in this class, and for some reason, I got stuck with, like, the worst teacher in my whole, like, grade, whose, like, class I actually got taken out of because she was so bad with me. But for some, like, you do these stupid little, like, projects. I don't even know what they were. It was, like, about kindness and bullshit like that. But for some reason, we'd always have to watch Free Willy. Like, we probably watched Free Willy 4 or 5 times that year, and I fucking hate that movie. I just wanted it to end, and I wanted the whale to just fall on the kid, put him and me out of our misery, and I never wanted to watch that movie again.
Did you tear up whenever they played that Michael Jackson song from the soundtrack?
Fuck you. I don't even know how many times I've cursed right now.
You don't like Will You Be There by Michael Jackson?
Oh my god, I hate you right now. I hate that song. I hate that movie. I hate the whole thing. The whole thing could just, like, never be mentioned again.
Alright, well, we'll have to do Free Willy in the future, the next time.
No, we're fucking not doing it. You can just do it with Steven. I will not be on that episode.
What about Free Willy 2?
Fuck you! I hate that too.
You've never seen Free Willy 2.
No, I did, because isn't there, like, some girl, like, he got adopted, that he has to go Free Willy again? Like, fuck this stupid whale!
I was obsessed with Free Willy. I wanted to save Kiko. Was that his name? Kiko the whale?
Yeah.
I think I donated, like, hard-earned paper money to that campaign, and then he ended up dying anyway.
Yeah.
They threw Keiko the whale in the wild, and then he croaked.
He didn't know how to survive in the wild.
All right, well, let's get into Golden Girls. Let's get down and dirty in the sexual world of Miami. Bienvenido a Miami.
Woo!
Do you think Will Smith wrote the song Miami with the Golden Girls in mind?
How could he not have? I mean, they're the hottest women in Miami.
Do you think the Golden Girls would still have been alive? Not the actresses, but the characters, when the song Miami was released?
Yes.
I say yes too because I was shocked to find this out. So, except for Sophia, all of the Golden Girls are in their 50s.
How old did you think they were?
I would have thought like 67 at earliest.
They weren't that old, Patrick. My gosh. But then again, this, you know what? This goes back to the people looking older in the 80s than they do now thing.
I did a little reading into this today, just before we started the podcast. So, Courtney Cox is the same age now that Rue McClanahan was when Golden Girls started.
Oh my god, you're right. You blew my mind.
And we're only like 15 years away from being at that point.
Oh my god.
You can be a Golden Girl in 15 years.
Oh my god, no. I am not ready.
Hot takes and cheesecake.
OMG.
There kind of was a older Courtney Cox moment a few years back with Cougar Town, but a cougar is like a 36-year-old, and Courtney Cox is definitely not a 36-year-old.
Wait, hold up. A cougar is 36?
At the earliest. I think at the earliest.
I'm just gonna keep cursing in this episode. I'm sorry. Fuck.
Join us next week when Drunk Cat returns. Alright, one thing I did want to bring up. So, a majority of this cast is dead today, except for Betty White. Lyle Waggoner is still alive, and the guy who played the policeman.
Oh my gosh.
He is still a hard-working actor. So I actually looked up the guy who played the policeman in this episode.
Okay.
His name is Todd Jeffries. He's never really been of anything notable, but he has credits in TV shows. So he always plays someone with an authority figure. So, for example, in The Mentalist, he was the first officer.
Okay.
He's been in Murder 1 as a guard. His biggest role to date is a 1995 TV movie called The Colony, starring, wait for it, John Ritter.
Oh my gosh! Podcast favorite.
And Todd Jeffries is the 5th fucking name in the cast list. So, shout out to Todd Jeffries. So, if you hear this, Todd, tweet us.
At Very Podcast.
At Very Podcast. And perhaps you can tell us what it was like arresting Lyle Waggoner on the set of Golden Girls in 1990.
Okay, I got this. We open up on the kitchen, and there's flowers everywhere. And Sophia walks in, and she's like, who died? And Blanche is like, oh, nobody. They're for my secret admirer. And Sophia's like, blah, blah, blah. And then Dorothy comes in. Poor Dorothy comes in. She's so excited. Dorothy's so excited because she got 2 very, nice bouquets of flowers. And then she sees all of the roses.
They weren't carnations. They were like, what's the step up from carnations?
They were like some lilies, maybe.
A daffodil, maybe?
Yeah, it was like an arrangement.
Yeah, but there were just like 2 flowers. So one was from Sonny Bono, and the other one was from Lyle Waggoner.
Because these are totally names you expect to hear as sending a woman flowers.
So I guess Dorothy went to the dinner theater in Miami, and Lyle Waggoner and Sonny Bono were like the star of some play. Equus, we believe it is. And Dorothy sat in the front row, I think.
She was close enough that their eyes all met and sparks flew between the trio.
And now both guys they're vying for the attention of Dorothy. Dead and Dorothy.
And Sophia does not buy this story at all. She's like, okay, Dorothy, you are the girl who were slow dancing with a rake instead of going to your junior prom. You gave yourself a hickey with the vacuum. I'm supposed to believe that 2 TV stars are chasing after you and sending you flowers. You're my daughter, I love you, but no.
Yeah, Sophia is salty as fuck to Dorothy. It was 1946 when Dorothy was a teen, and she just, I guess, danced around in her basement in a prom dress with a rake.
Apparently, at least in this dream world.
They did not have a mop. I would think like a mop would be a little more gentler to caress than a rake.
Of all the things you could be slow dancing with, you pick a rake.
Isn't there a scene in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids where the daughter is dancing in the kitchen with a broom?
Maybe. It's been a while since I've seen that.
That's what I'm envisioning, but maybe she was in the basement, so maybe the broom was upstairs. She didn't feel like going back upstairs in a prom dress because she was supposed to be at the prom.
But she still wanted to dance, damn it.
So she just threw on some, what was popular in the 40s, like the Andrews Sisters, maybe? She just threw on some Andrews Sisters classics.
Yeah. I don't even know what the popular music was in the 40s.
If we have any Golden Girls out there listening to this podcast,
tweet us at Very Podcast and tell us. What
was the biggest hit in the spring of 1946? We could look it up now, but we got some more hot takes to get through.
So Blanche has this secret admirer who sent her all these flowers. She has no clue who it is. You know, she's got suspects, but there are a lot of men who have caught her attention over the last, decade or so, we'd say?
Yeah, I believe.
And this secret admirer wants to meet her for lunch.
Blanche's husband died 9 years ago, and that's part of the reason why that she's in the house with all the other girls, because they're all either divorced or widows.
Most of them are widows. Blanche has this big house, and so she, rents out the rooms.
Yeah, and they just kind of, chill around, hang out in the kitchen, cry, eat cheesecake, fuck men.
Yes, lots of men.
Even though they're, in their 1980s version of 50s, they are in their sexual prime.
You really do, holy.
They will do, a 2-episode stint where, let's say, Blanche meets a guy, gets engaged, and then breaks up with a man in, a 2-episode span. And then she's on to the next one.
Yes, pretty much, exactly.
You know what? Good for them. Very proud of them. But Blanche is afraid to meet her secret admirer at the restaurant by herself because, I don't know, maybe he's a serial killer or something?
Well, she doesn't know who it is. It could be, some crazy man she doesn't even know who's stalking her. I mean, okay, this is, pre-internet date.
It could be Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker.
Exactly. It could be some total psychopath. She doesn't know who this is. So she has the girls agree to go with her for safety, which is smart. At least there's 2 of you to fight off some crazy psycho.
Yeah, power in numbers. You don't end up on the back of a milk carton. And
they don't do that anymore.
In 1990, they probably did.
No, they stopped by then.
Well, you won't end up on the nightly news in Greater Miami.
Exactly. Blanche
Devereaux's missing, and her head was found in the Everglades.
God. Jeez, why do you always have to go so dark and weird?
In the days leading up to it, she received 75 flowers.
Yeah, okay. This was actually totally creepy.
Yeah, what would you do if somebody sent you 100 bouquets of roses?
I would be who is this? And what do you think you're getting? Because you're probably not getting it.
What are you going to do with them, first of all? They're going to sit in your kitchen and die and rot, and your house is going to stink like an abandoned greenhouse.
Oh, I don't know.
And meanwhile, this guy's going to be across town thinking he's going to get a handy out of it.
Yeah.
Send me an edible arrangement, something that's I can get rid of.
Oh my god.
Can we talk about the restaurant they go to?
Okay, yes. What is up with this restaurant?
Alright, so the restaurant has checkered floors, but it has classy wall decor, fancy drapery, sconces, artistic paintings. Everyone's in suits, but there's checkered floors. It looks like the Max from Saved by the Bell. The floor does, anyway.
It's a TV studio. I don't think they really put that much thought into the floors. You know what I mean?
Maybe they didn't realize that it was going to be noticeable.
They didn't think 20-something years from now, some drunk idiot is going to be, analyzing the floor choice of this set.
It's definitely not the kind of floor that would be in a classy Miami restaurant, I don't think. Because I think Miami is known more for its Art Deco.
Yeah, probably not.
But the reactions from the extras in this scene were hilarious. They just kept looking at the characters and the camera way too much. Did you notice that?
I didn't notice that.
There was 3 or 4 people that just kept laughing at everything that was said. And I was oh god. I hope to God these extras did not get paid.
You know what show has insanely awesome extras?
Cheers?
Rules of Engagement.
Really?
Yes. If you watch a rerun of Rules of Engagement, pay attention to the extras. They're just going about their business. They're having conversations. They don't pay attention to the characters at all.
I think Cheers has good extras, too. The show is 90% extras.
Yes, yeah. Gotta fill in the bar.
Can we talk about Sonny Bono's introduction into the episode?
Oh yes, let's talk about how Sonny comes in.
So he comes running into the house, right?
No, hold on. Lyle shows up at the restaurant to flirt with Dorothy, and he keeps name-dropping the Carol Burnett show. And Sophia's all about being Team Sonny.
So have we seen Sonny Bono yet?
Yeah, hold on, we haven't...
You know what? We're skipping right over George. What the fuck are we doing here?
Lyle shows up, he leaves. He sings his way out of the restaurant, and Dorothy says, I hate it when he does that. And then Blanche gets up to go meet her secret admirer at the bar, and then she's all like, oh, holy shit. It's a man who looks exactly like George, and he's like, oh, Blanche, honey, and she's like, oh shit, it is George. What the fuck?
So, George supposedly died 9 years ago, but spoiler alert, he faked his death. Because I guess his business partner was stealing money from the company and... Yeah,
his business partner was embezzling, but setting him up to take the fall.
And the only thing that George knew the way George reacted was, you know what, I don't want to take the heat, so I'm just going to pretend I die? I don't understand. I guess if that wasn't a good indicator that it was a dream sequence, then I don't know what it is.
Yeah. I mean, besides Sonny and Lyle being, like, crazy about Dorothy.
Sonny shows up, so do they go back to the house?
Yeah, like, Blanche runs off to the house. It just, like, cuts to Blanche going into the house. And apparently Rose has talked to George, and she's like... And they're all like, we think you should talk to him. And Rose kind of guilt trips Blanche, because she says, you know, if I could talk to my Charlie one more time, I would take that opportunity. So you might as well... You have this chance to talk to him. Talk to him.
Yeah, so Blanche is trying to figure out what to do. Should she talk to her now alive husband or just, like, fuck him, forget it?
Yeah, meanwhile, Sophia's sitting there and she just wants to, like, pop some popcorn, drink, and just watch this tea get spilled.
So this is when Sonny Bono comes busting in. He just, like, runs through the front door. He is so slovenly looking. His jacket is unbuttoned. His shirt's, like, not really buttoned up right. He just looks like a mess. Like, it's like, you know, we needed to get a second celebrity into this episode. We had Lyle Waggoner. He definitely was the pick. We tried to figure out who our second one was, and it was like, maybe, like, Sonny Bono was, like, driving through the lot that day, and they're like, hey, do you want to be on an episode of Golden Girls today? And he was like, sure, why not?
Yeah, I'll go hang out on Golden Girls, sure.
So he comes running in. So, 1990 Sonny Bono, he was definitely the mayor of Palm Springs at this time?
Yeah, he's the mayor of Palm Springs.
He definitely was out of television. He was not a singer any longer. A lot has changed in his world. He has broken up with Cher.
I believe he was actually married, but I could be a little wrong, but I'm going to actually just check that right now.
I looked this up. He's been married 4 times.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and there's, like, a conspiracy surrounding his death.
Wow.
Yes, so he died in 1998, January of 1998, in a skiing accident. That's, you know, the whole thing. So in January of 1998, it was reported that Sonny Bono died in a skiing accident, but there's been alleged punched holes in the story of Bono's death.
What do you mean?
Years after the death of Sonny Bono, who was an experienced skier, a former FBI agent named Ted Gunderson has reported that the pop star turned politician was, quote-unquote, bumped off on the ski slopes as some part of evil plan hatched by ruthless assassins.
But why?
I guess there is, like, a big cover-up. I guess he may have got into some weird...
Wait, are you saying that that the Clintons did this?
It's possible, because they were in power in 1998, and allegedly the Clintons have bumped off people.
Allegedly.
There's a book called The Cover-Up of Sonny Bono's Murder. Writer David Martin wrote this book. He writes that Bono had been approached by an investigator named Bob Fletcher, and I guess he was claiming that the activities of high-ranking U.S. military and government officials were raking in millions from arms and drug deals in Central America and Southeast Asia.
Ooh, this could be worse. I just found something worse.
They found things that didn't really look like he just hit a tree. Like, he had a black eye, swollen lips, a bloody nose, a bruised jaw, and 2 upper teeth knocked out, all on the right side of the head. And I guess there was a series of small fractures in the right side of his skull that looked like it was shaped like maybe some type of club, like a billy club, or even possibly like a pistol. Like he got pistol whipped, which didn't line up with him hitting a tree.
Well, he was involved in Scientology.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, I just found that out.
Oh.
And we know they will go to great lengths.
I know that when you're in Scientology and you want to get out, they will destroy your life. Hello, Leah Remini.
She's got a new show coming out about leaving Scientology.
Well, she does not have a show on CBS called Kevin Can't Wait.
No, that's right. She's not in that.
Shout out to Kevin James.
So, yeah.
Alright, so that is the Sonny Bono conspiracy. So you heard it here first, maybe?
Yeah, oh my god. I'm gonna have to, go down this rabbit hole later.
We will. Maybe we'll do a future episode that will just talk about all the conspiracies that we've talked about on this podcast.
Talked about, created in our own minds.
Yes, we'll do this right after we do the Dr. Seuss episode.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Can we talk about Sonny getting kicked off the lanai?
Oh yes, they send him to the lanai.
But Blanche basically tells Sonny Bono to get off my lanai.
Sonny Bono, get off my lanai!
Which is a meme. It's definitely a meme today. And I just love to say the word lanai.
It's such a fancy word.
It's just like a porch with 3 walls and an open entryway.
But it's like an outdoor living space. It's popular in warm, humid climates like Miami or Hawaii.
If I lived in that house, I would have just chilled on the lanai all day. I wouldn't even gone into the kitchen. Would you have gone into the kitchen?
Only because that's where the food is. You need, there's not an outdoor kitchen.
I would have gotten maybe a mini fridge and threw it outside.
Well, you know what though? There's probably mosquitoes and stuff outside.
You can get a screened in thing. You can kind of screen it in though.
That's true.
Or get those tiki torches, the citronella tiki torches.
Yeah, but or just get a bunch of citronella plants. That's what I had when I lived in Minnesota. I had a huge citronella plant out on my deck, so I could actually go out on my deck.
And maybe all that perfume they wear scares off the mosquitoes.
But does it attract the bees?
Bees kind of just chill the fuck out. They don't really bother you unless you antagonize them.
Maybe.
Can we talk about how much they dress up during the day?
They are so dressed up. That's just a TV thing though.
Would you wake up every morning, get dressed the fuck up and just chill out? Or would you just stay in a robe?
You're talking to somebody who basically wears yoga pants or jeans and a t-shirt every day.
You're not going to put on this lady suit?
No, I'm not going to be putting on suits or nice dresses or tunics or crap like that, no.
They're dressed like they're on Dynasty or something.
I think it's just being a TV show.
Is it ultimately Rose that kind of guilts Blanche into sticking with George?
Well, George leaves, but he wants Blanche back. And then they're in the kitchen again, and Sophia tells her German story about hooking up with a woman, or her Germany story about hooking up with a woman scientist. And then Rose is like, somebody actually deceived me once, and they're all like, really? We're not surprised, Rose. And this is where Blanche, they're in the kitchen, the ladies are all in the kitchen, and she reveals that she has had dreams about George being alive and returning to her. But she always wakes up before she can actually hug him. And those first few minutes of laying in the bed, when she wakes up, she's grieving all over again for him.
And that's when they tell Blanche, you know what? Just hug him. Just see what happens. Just see how you feel. You're getting a second chance. And I think, isn't Rose I would do anything? I would give up my left nut to have a second chance with Charlie or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Rose is I would like to be able to just at least talk to Charlie again. We already went over that. I think that happened earlier, though. Yeah,
so Blanche is all right, let's see what happens. So she gets together with George. They meet in the kitchen. They have a heart-to-heart. George finds out that Blanche has been around the block a few times.
Yeah.
But he's like, it's cool. It's all cool. I totally expect you to do that. You thought I've been dead for the last 9 years.
So it's okay that you've slept with 2 men since I died.
Was that a lie? That clearly was a lie, right?
That was such a lie.
She's had her oil changed every far more or less than 3,000 miles.
Yeah, but hold on. Before we get to this, can we talk about what happens with Lyle and Sonny?
Oh, yes. Okay.
So in the midst of all the George stuff, Sonny and Lyle are like, we need a decision, Dorothy. Who's it gonna be? And this is when a cop shows up to arrest Lyle Waggoner on a warrant from Palm Springs.
For a major crime spree. in Palm Springs.
Yes.
The Palm Springs police contacted the Miami police and were like, you need to catch this guy. He is a respected man in Hollywood. He's been on television. He's made us laugh. He's still got it, apparently. But you know what? You have to get this guy. We tracked him down to a household in like a suburb area where 4 old ladies live. Like, you need to go right away.
You've got to go get him.
They don't even like say what the crime. They just say a crime spree.
Who knows? It doesn't matter. So he gets arrested, and Sonny is all, "It's good to be mayor."
Hold on. Do you think Lyle Waggoner killed Sonny Bono?
No.
Do you think the Sonny Bono murder conspiracy goes back to this episode? And Lyle Waggoner has been bitter all these years.
Bitter because he didn't get Dorothy in a dream sequence episode of The Golden Girls?
Yes, who knows? Stranger things have happened. Or are we all living in a dream episode?
It's probably a dream episode.
I still think it's hilarious that the mayor of Palm Springs would fly to Miami to be in like a dinner theater play in like a retirement community.
I mean, think about it. It's Blanche's dream, though, so none of this makes sense.
That is true.
Like, everything up to the point where until she wakes up, this is all her dream. So the Dorothy dancing with a rake, Sophia's lesbian experience, these are all things that Blanche is projecting onto them.
The checkered floors.
Yes, the checkered floors.
So the restaurants in Miami really don't have checkered floors, but they do in this dream sequence.
Exactly. That's probably, like, that's what all of this is.
All right, so shall we get to the big reveal? It just changes the tone of the episode. So it's such a jovial, happy-go-lucky episode. It's so fun. You get to see Lyle and Sonny bicker with each other. But then it just cuts to Blanche waking up in bed alone. And her bed looks like it's never been slept on before.
Probably.
It looks like the floor model at Macy's.
Can I say I am obsessed with the wallpaper in her room? Yeah, I love the palm wallpaper that she has. It's the same that they have in the Beverly Hills hotel.
Oh, really?
Like, if you follow them on Instagram, they've got like, they're always like showing off the wallpaper.
Shout out to the Beverly Hills Hotel. Follow them on Instagram. What's their Instagram handle?
Hold on. My phone's on the other side of the room. I don't know what it is right now.
Just search for Beverly Hills Hotel. You'll find it.
Yeah, you'll find it. It's awesome. They're actually probably one of my favorite accounts to follow.
And give them the code VeryPodcast to get 30% off your next stay.
Don't do that. They won't know what that means.
But Dorothy and Blanche, Dorothy goes into the bed to comfort Blanche. And that's when Rose and Sophia come in. And Sophia's like, I knew it. Like, all along. She's like, I knew it.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I knew it.
They're under the covers, and I think Dorothy is, like, consoling Blanche, but it looks very scandalous.
Like, it looks like they're just talking. Like, but if you just walk in and you just see the two of them, like, whoa.
All right. So, do you have...
Okay, hold on. There's a little bit we have to go over at the end of the episode. Because Blanche is telling the ladies about the dream. She's like, this time it was different. The dream was different. Oh, wait, I got to hug him. Is what Blanche realizes is she actually got to hug George in the dream this time.
So this is Blanche moving on. She's finally realized after 9 years of being alone, but yet being sexually active, that she's just ready to put George behind her.
Yeah, it's like that just last string letting go.
Maybe she wants to start getting serious instead of just like bringing in a slew of men into her slept in bed but looks like it's unslept in.
Yeah, probably. And of course, then before Dorothy, the ladies all leave, Dorothy like looks back, she goes, she doesn't really ask. She goes, Blanche, and Blanche is like, you picked Sonny this time. And Dorothy's like, yes!
This show broke so many boundaries because it was pretty much one of the first shows that had 4 women over the age of 50 in leading roles. There's no male counterpart that they always like have to rely on, even as like a second banana. It's just the 4 girls.
That's true. There's no like go-to male.
And it lasted for 7 seasons on a Saturday night. It beat all of the odds.
That's interesting.
So what are we doing next week? Are we going into our Thanksgiving time?
I think we are. I think we're going to go in a little early because there's a couple things we wanted to do.
We've decided to do 2 Thanksgiving episodes.
Gobble, gobble.
All right, so join us next week. And as always,
Bye!
Until fucking next time.
Hold me like the river Jordan, and I can then say to thee, you are my friend. Carry me like you are my brother. Love me like a